Hi everybody, I wanted to come to you and talk to you about one of my first tools on the channel. I've been using this tool for, well, 6-7 months. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's a folder with diary cards. I started doing the diary cards. I wasn't sure how I was going to like it. I really didn't think I was going to like it. But the more I did it, the more I saw positive into doing it. Because when I started doing it, I was hypomania. And each and every day, I got to write down from 0 to 4 what I felt. Sadness, shame, guilt, fear, anger, happiness, overwhelmed, jealousy, hopeless, anxiety, envy, depressed, motivated, disgust. Now, how you know that it's mental illness is up here. Actions: suicide, self-harm, impulsive behavior. Urges: suicide, self-harm, quit therapy, impulsive behavior. Drugs: illicit drugs, alcohol, manic, panic, anxiety. So as I was filling this out, I noticed that I can watch where my hypo is. I can watch where I'm up, where I'm down. I can see when my hypo is coming. I can figure out when mania is coming. And then I can track down to the back of my folder to last month. And I can read. Alright, if I know hypo's coming, what was my trigger? That way for the next time, I know not to do it. So, this time my trigger were the holidays. With the extreme euphoria, that's a whole nother episode. However, I got to figure out what my trigger was. I got to watch my hypomania as it went on for 3 weeks. I got to watch the levels, and I got to see it, which is really nice. I got to learn from it. So it's not just a diary card. It's not something just to write in for your psychiatrist, for your therapist, for your counselor. It's much more. So I went beyond that. I started thinking, all right, if I'm going to use this thing all the time, I'm going to put some things in here that are important to me. I wrote this thing down. It's a sheet for coping skills. Well, I put that sheet of my coping skills in this folder because I always have this folder. It's always around. I always know where it is. So I have all my coping skills for me. Take a hot shower. Did I take my medicine? Count something. Diary cards, marker boards, text a friend, work, blah, blah, a whole bunch. Well, another episode. I have this problem. I don't understand radical acceptance. I don't get that. I don't think the part of my brain is really working that understands radical acceptance. So I have that in here, and distress tolerance handout, and 10-minute in-group sessions. Also, say you ever have to go to the hospital. Well, you need, with any illness, mental illness, gout, it doesn't matter what it is, heart disease, heart failure, you should have a folder that has your past and previous medical history on a CD. You should have an advance directive. You should have a psychiatric directive. Because I carry this thing around me all the time, I always know where it is. Whenever I go to the hospital, I take this. Because since 2005, when I was diagnosed, I have every psych med I've ever been on. This is 3 pages long. So I could take this to the doctor and say, I've taken this. And it says Abilify, dosage, bipolar, date started, date ended, prescribed, effective. What did it do? Advanced directives. If you go into coma, who's going to unplug you? Put that in there. Psychiatric directives. Psychiatric advanced directives. That's for my wife can legally put me in the hospital at any time. That's in here. There's a lot of important information in here. So when you call 911 and the ambulance comes, you grab your folder and you grab your overnight bag next to the front door that's always there. But you grab these things. You really have to learn to work with your illness. Like I said, this is just one thing I wanted to throw at you. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. It's mybipolarsucks@gmail.com. If you have any questions or anything, or tips, if you have used this, you use something, let me know. Once again, I would like to apologize if I offended anybody. I am not here to offend anybody. I'm only here to give you my ideas, my outlooks. So, that's it for now, and I hope looking to see you again.